Okay, so I'm just gonna make a quick video here of my watering irrigation system that I put in my garden because I get tired of watering it every other day or every day actually. Um, just gonna go over some real quick basics of the stuff that you need if you wanted to try this yourself. The first step or first thing I would definitely suggest is to draw everything out before you start going to buy stuff because you'll end up running to the store more time than you'll spend working on it. So just some of the basic stuff that you need. Obviously, you need garden hose here to run your main lines. I've got a couple different types here, but you need garden hose to run your main lines. And then this hose here, this is a black plastic tubing that Menards sells. Comes in a 50-foot roll, and that's what you use to put your sprinklers and stuff in. It's not very expensive. Again, comes in a 50-foot roll. You might be able to get 25 too, but I think it's only 50. So that's what this is. Some other things you'll need, of course, a bunch of hose end fittings, male and female. If you're not going to be moving it at all, the plastic seems to work okay. If you're going to, bring it in the wintertime and stuff, but if you're going to be moving it or it's going to get any type of abuse, you want to go with metal stuff because it'll last a lot longer. Of course, you need your washers for those, so make sure you have those. This here is the tubing that your sprinkler will go into. Your little sprinkler nozzle will go into it, and this will go into this black piece of tubing here, which I will demonstrate once I get that far. You can see some of the fittings that I got here. You'll need a bunch of fittings. That's why it's nice to draw it out before you do it, because then you'll know exactly what you need. Because otherwise you'll make 30 trips to Menards trying to get it done. So it's shut off here. I use these on my big sprinklers to control it, because sometimes you don't need them to go as high as they do when you turn the hose on. And then this, of course, is just, I use these sprinklers. They're $4 at Menards, and they do the job just perfectly. Teflon tape, hose clamps. Need a ton of hose clamps. I found that sometimes you can get by without putting them on the garden hose, but more times than not, you're better off just getting them and putting them on there so you don't have to deal with leaks. Because especially with this tubing and your little misters and stuff, you don't want to have any water leaks or air leaks before you get to where this is going to be, spraying, where you're going to hook into the tubing. So, and these are the little nozzles here. They come in all kinds of different types and sizes. They're just little tiny things here. So, like this one here is a mister, or kind of like a sprinkler, mini sprinkler type. And then this one here is a half moon. And you can adjust these to put out. This little knob adjusts them. You can adjust them to put out how much water you want to put out. So they come in really nifty. You'll need this here to put in. This is what goes into the big plastic tubing here. Goes into here, and I'll demonstrate how to do that in just a moment here. And then your little plastic tubing goes on that, and then your sprinkler goes on the little plastic tubing. So I'll show you how to do that. I use these to hold the hose down in place if you're running it across a log or wood or any place you can screw it into. It just keeps the hose fastened. As far as this kind of stuff goes, like I said, draw it out, figure out what you need. You'll need some of these too, different types of those, depending on how you set it up. And then of course Teflon tape to put on all your fittings that have threads. Put it around here just to make sure that you get everything sealed up. Okay, so the other thing that you'll need a lot of that I use, you can buy these, but it's cheaper just to go to the dollar store and get some metal hangers. Metal hangers to hold your hoses down into the ground. I just went to the dollar store and bought a ton of them, and they work great, and they work as good as the store-bought ones that I had. So you can use that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate how to insert and what tools you'll need to put the jets in there in this tubing. So what you want to do is, you'll see when you get the tubing is it's got the green. I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but it's got two green lines there. So you want to keep your it's kind of a guide point to keep your sprinklers in line. Make sure everything goes in right. So what you want to do now is, I just use this compass. You could use anything that's sharp, a nail or whatever. And what you want to do is you want to just go right in the middle of those two white lines here, or two green lines, excuse me, and just poke a hole in there, just right through the plastic. Doesn't have to be fancy. Just make sure it goes through there. And that's basically just to get it so you can push the piece in. So you're going to get these, you get these fittings from Menards. You can get all this stuff at Menards. And you can see here, here's the fitting. So what you want to do is you want to take the fitting, and you want this side, this pointy end here will go into the tube. So what I did, and again, they sell a tool, but I just used this little screwdriver, excuse me, to push it in. Now, you could buy the tool, but this works just the same or better. So what you do is you just take the piece like right here, the sprayer, and you just stick it in like that. And then what you want to do is come down here. We'll find our little hole. You can see our little hole there. And you just want to push down on that, and you'll hear it pop in a lot of the time. Sometimes you have to hold it in your hand. So just bear with me here. So we got it in our little hole. We just want to push that through. You can get it here. And the first couple times you do this, it can be a pain there when it popped in. So there, that's in there now, and that will not leak. So the next thing that you want to do, and sometimes what I'll do with these, if I'm doing a bunch of them, is just put a little dish soap on there, so the hoses slide on there quicker. So then you want to take your little piece of hose. Now this hose that you use, if you do this, you don't want this hose to be more than like a foot long, because you'll lose a lot of power there. So what you want to do is just take the hose and stick it over the end of the eye there, just like so. Push it in there, like that. There you go. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be forced. So you got your tube on there. Then you just take your sprinkler piece right here, and you just put your sprinkler piece right on there. You'll see the end that it goes on to. Goes on just like that, and that actually has screws on it. They've actually got little tiny, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's got little tiny screw threads on it, so you don't have to push those in. You just spin them on, and then you can adjust them when you get them on. So you just spin that on there. So that, there we go. That's your basic setup there. And you want to do these every, I do them every like 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So the initial investment is there, but once you have it, like this year I already had all the stuff, so putting it up was not that bad. So next thing we're going to do is we will move outside, and I'll show you how the whole operation works. Okay, so this is my irrigation system that I have in. I'm just gonna take a quick video here and show you. So it starts here, obviously it comes out of the house, runs down here like this. I just used some connectors and some good hose for that. Then it comes over to here, and you can see I got that little deal there. It's got 4 outlets on it, and 2 of the outlets, this one here is for the garden hose that I use. It goes to there. This one here is just for if you just need water. It goes to nowhere. And then these 2 are hooked up to my timers. These timers you can get at Menards, and you can see I'm going to get in closer here. They run on AA batteries. You can see I've got it set to come on at 710, and you can make all kinds of settings on these. First of all, you can of course set the time, start time, how long, how often, and then you can shut it off. And there's also a rain delay. If it's supposed to rain, you can push this button down here and set the time if there's a rain delay. So you can see I have 2 of them. One of them is for my sprinklers. This one's for my sprinklers down here, and this one's for my misters. So just to show you a little bit how it works, what you can see here is I've got the hoses put in the ground, and you can use, I showed you the little hold downs. So you can see I got a T there, so I got one that goes into my little tiny carrot bed there with onions. Some carrots and onions there. And then this one here goes into my cucumber radish bed that I just put in. I'll probably use it for strawberries next year. But you can see the hoses come up to here, and there's a little T there. This goes into my corn, which is coming really nice, and I've got 2 sprinklers in there. Those sprinklers that I use are from Menards, and they, like I said, they're about $4 a piece, so they're really cheap. And then this one comes up into my misters, and you can see I've got a T there, and it goes in to the hose that I showed you, and then it runs all the way down across to the end of the other side of the garage. and I've got 2 of them in there. You can see the little nozzles in there. So that's about it. There's a lot more to it. You can see I've got on each one of these, I've got adjusters on here so I can adjust the pressure, you know, whether to turn it up or turn it down, so it gets the right amount of spray. And I've got those on all of them, you can see here. So you can see that in there. So I'll show you how this works. So I have it set to go on at 710. You can see it's not 710. So just to test them, what we do is just turn this to the, keep it in the run mode. We hit this button and it'll pull up the amount of time you want it to run for. We'll just crank it down here to a minute. And then it'll just kick on for a minute. And this is for the misters up by the garage. So let's go over and look. You can see they kicked on, and you can see they shoot water out. So this side you can see a little better because I don't have as much stuff planted there. On for a minute and it shut off. Now I'll turn on the other one. So I'm just going to turn this one on here. And there we go.
Well, that dryer sure works nice.
Yeah. And you can see that one just turned on. You can see it pumps out the water. And my bigger sprinklers, it's everything wet.
You pay that gas bill to me?
You can see it gets everything good and wet. Next year I'm going to move it over to my containers over there. But this year, I'm just keeping it here for now. I'll add on next year.
Did ya?
And you'll see it'll shut off in just a minute. And there it goes. Done.